All right, today we are going to hack your brain. Seriously, we're going to dive into some incredible insights from neurologist Dr. Sweta Adatia to see how you can literally, physically rewire your mind to beat procrastination, sharpen your focus, and really unlock your best self. Let's get into it.
So let's just start with the question that I think we've all wrestled with at some point. Can you actually train your brain to want to do the hard stuff? To actually crave a challenge instead of just automatically putting it off. It feels like this constant uphill battle, right? But according to neuroscience, the answer is a huge, resounding yes.
But here's the twist, and this is the core idea from Dr. Adania. The goal isn't just to magically change your brain's wiring all by itself. No. The real secret is to change your reality. The daily inputs, the habits, the environment that your brain is constantly responding to. See, when you change what you feed your brain, you end up changing the brain itself.
To do that, though, we first have to understand this fundamental battle that's happening inside our heads pretty much all the time. It's this constant tug of war between two very different voices, and each one is trying to grab the steering wheel.
So on one side, you've got the watchman. This is your limbic system, the ancient, primitive part of your brain. Its only job, really, is to be a threat scanner. It's always on the lookout for danger, ready to push you into fight, flight, or freeze mode. But on the other side, you have the CEO, your prefrontal cortex. Now, this is the sophisticated, logical part that's in charge of good choices, controlling your emotions, and thinking about the long term.
And here's the kicker. This is a really staggering fact from Dr. Adatia's research. For about 80% of us, that primitive, fear-driven watchman is running the show most of the time. Think about that. That's the root of procrastination, of those negative thought loops, and it's exactly why making real, lasting change feels so incredibly hard.
So if the watchman is in charge, how in the world do we get the CEO back in the driver's seat? Well, it all starts with mastering the very first hour of your day. Dr. Adaya calls this the golden hour. It's your single biggest opportunity to set the tone for your brain's performance for the entire day.
Think about it this way. When you're asleep, your brain is in this deep, slow wave state, kind of like a car that's in neutral. That blaring alarm goes off, you jump out of bed and check your phone. Well, that's like slamming the car directly from neutral into fifth gear. It's jarring, it's stressful, and it basically hands the keys right over to your watchman to start the day in panic mode. We need a much, much smoother transition.
And the solution is a super simple, really memorable formula for that golden hour. It's called movers. It's a 6-step routine, and it's designed specifically to gently wake up and activate your CEO brain, so you can start your day with focus and intention. Each letter in movers stands for a simple 5-minute practice. You've got meditation, oxygenation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. Together, they create this incredibly powerful sequence to prime your brain for success. But I want to focus on one in particular, visualization, because its effects are, well, they're mind-blowing. Okay, so let's zoom in on V for visualization. Now, this is not just positive thinking fluff. The actual science of neuroplasticity confirms that what you vividly imagine inside your head can create real, tangible, physical changes in your brain structure. And if you need proof, get this. A famous study compared two groups. One group physically practiced playing the piano, and the other group just mentally rehearsed it, imagining themselves playing perfectly. The result? Brain scans showed that both groups developed nearly identical growth in the parts of the brain that control finger movements. Your thoughts can literally build a better brain. It's incredible.
All right, so once you've started to nail down that morning routine, you can move to the next level. This is about actively training a very specific brain state that's perfect for calm, focused performance. We are talking about mastering your alpha wave.
So what on earth is an alpha wave? Well, think of it as the ultimate sweet spot for your brain. It's that feeling of calm alertness, It's the bridge between deep rest and focused action. It's where your creativity really starts to flow, and you just feel ready for whatever comes your way.
And why should you care about this? Because strengthening your alpha state directly leads to the skills of every high performer. We're talking faster problem solving, more resilience when things go wrong, quicker thinking, and way, way better control over your emotions.
And what's amazing is that training your alpha wave is surprisingly simple. Dr. Adatia recommends 2 super easy techniques. First, just sit with your eyes closed for 5 minutes every day, just letting your thoughts come and go without any judgment. And second, Practice grounding by walking barefoot on natural ground, like grass or sand. Both of these are proven to give your alpha waves a serious boost.
Okay, next up, let's talk about exercise. But not for your body, for your mind. There's this really cool concept called neurobics, and it's all about keeping your brain agile, flexible, and super sharp.
You see, our brains absolutely thrive on novelty. When we get stuck in the same old routine day after day, our brain gets lazy. It can actually lead to mental atrophy. So the antidote to that is a new challenge. Anything that involves multiple senses and forces your brain to wake up and build new connections.
And you can start doing this like right now with these simple little challenges. Try brushing your teeth with your other hand tonight. Or tomorrow, intentionally take a different route to work. Or just rearrange the stuff on your desk. These tiny disruptions knock your brain off of autopilot and force it to build new pathways.
So let's pull all these pieces together for a second. These aren't just a bunch of random brain hacks. They are the actual components of a blueprint for intentionally designing a high performer's brain.
And look at this number. It's just incredible. A huge survey found that 95% of people identify as procrastinators. But listen, this isn't a character flaw. Dr. Adadia argues it's simply the default setting of an untrained brain, a brain that's letting the watchman win day after day.
And this right here is the ultimate result of all that training. It's not that high performers don't fail, of course they do. It's that their strong CEO brain just responds to failure differently. A setback isn't some terrifying threat that triggers a shutdown. No, it's just data. It's a stepping stone on the path to finding another way.
So, if there's one really empowering idea to take away from all this, it's this. Your brain is not fixed. Thanks to this amazing thing called neuroplasticity, you are the architect. Through conscious practice, using tools like movers, training your alpha wave, doing neurobics, you can actively build the cognitive and emotional brain you want.
When you really boil it all down, success isn't just about talent or getting lucky, it's a brain training exercise. It's about consciously and deliberately building the neural circuits that support focus, creativity, and resilience. So the only question left to ask is, are you ready to begin?